Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our program. This is Mike Saunders with Marketing Huddle, and today we have with us Stephanie Cox, who is the founder of The Level Market. Welcome to the program, Stephanie.
Thanks, Mike. It's a real pleasure to be here with you today in Golden, Colorado, just with my neighbor.
Yeah, it's awesome to have just beautiful blue sky and a nice day here to look out at the weather and to go, hey, what a world we live in where we can be talking and be on a podcast and be doing business all across the country, all across the world with just a computer and a keyboard. So how cool is that? So give us a background on yourself, how you became an entrepreneur, and what the Level Market is.
Oh, sure. My pleasure. I actually grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My father was an entrepreneur right in the 80s when the computer industry took off, and quit his job and said, I'm taking a big chance, and took a leap of faith and opened up the first retail store in our neighborhood there. So that was pretty cool. So I got my first taste of entrepreneurship, I'd say, through my father. I spent a career, about 17 years in international aid and development. And for some reason during that time, I kept bumping up against the same problem over and over. And while our industry is a super critical industry, in fact, I think it's the most important industry in the world because we save lives and help people, we were really slow to innovate and are just now understanding the nature of innovation and why entrepreneurship is so important. And so what happened to me is people say this, an entrepreneur by accident. Well, I kind of was an entrepreneur by survivorship. And the reason why I say that is because about 12 years ago now, I was in a boat in Thailand, taking a vacation because I'd been working in Nepal and creating enterprises, very small-scale enterprises during the Civil War there, working with widowed women, trying to teach them how to grow crops and so on and so forth. And it was exhausting and tiring, and so we went to Thailand for a vacation. And next thing you know, we're on a very tiny tailboat in the middle of the water in Thailand, and here comes the tsunami. And we were the lucky ones because we actually survived and over 200,000 people didn't. Well, fast forward, I kept doing my aid and development work, and fast forward 10 years, I had an aha moment. And people say, does that really happen? Well, for me it did, because I was working on a project during the Ebola crisis, and I couldn't find water filtration units for a friend of mine who was in Sierra Leone working with the WHO, and I said, I'll find them for you. Well, I couldn't. I searched, I called people, it's an industry I knew, and we couldn't find water filtration units. And so I couldn't compare them, we couldn't contrast them, we couldn't do what we all do on Alibaba and Amazon every day. So at that moment, I was like, whoa, there's a marketplace for everything in the world, but not for those products that are needed by people in crises and disasters. And oh my gosh, I was the recipient of aid almost 12 years ago, and I needed those things as well. And by surviving that experience, I believe, catapulted me into the entrepreneur that I am today.
Wow, that's quite the story. And I hear that type of thing over and over, which is, I discovered that I needed this. It didn't exist, so I did it.
That's right. And really,
how awesome is that?
Right. And, I always say, if you keep bumping up against the same pain, that's opportunity knocking on your door. And I think the innovators and the entrepreneurs do something about it.
Yeah.
And some other people don't. And I think that's the difference. And so I just kept bumping up against the same problem, which is we can't find products the way we need to find them, and there's no way to connect buyers and suppliers in this international aid market. And so finally I just said, well, all right, if no one else is going to do it, then I'll do it. And I took the big, leap of faith in the dive and started building my prototype and interviewing buyers and suppliers and really getting to the heart of the pain. And, a year later we launched our site, which was just 2 months ago.
And so what does that look like to connect buyers and suppliers? Give me some examples that way.
Yeah, so we are a marketplace. We call ourselves the Amazon for Aid or the Alibaba for Humanity. And so we developed a platform that connects suppliers of innovative life-saving products like solar lights and cook stoves and water filtration units, and also some core aid products that are, being used even today in Italy during the unfortunate disaster there with the earthquake, tents and sleeping pads. And so we developed a marketing platform and a financial transaction platform to allow those innovative manufacturers of those core and innovative products to list their products on our site. And then we drive these buyers, international aid organizations, private sector actors, church groups, Rotary clubs, to our site, who can then purchase them immediately instead of having to Google everything all the time to find what they need or call people or talk to their neighbor. They can now come to us, and we're this one-stop shop for all of that. And we're the first of its kind. This industry is a $100 billion industry, and we are the first of its kind. And it's pretty exciting to be now live and out in the public. And, it's been an incredible journey, really.
Yeah, that's really niche, too, because like you said, anyone can Google something or go to Amazon for something or go to whatever place and say, I need to have a whatever. But if I'm understanding you correctly, your website says one-stop shop for aid and development products. Do you have something where someone, like for instance, bundles? I'm thinking of the word bundle where, if you are going to an area and need this, then you're going to want this bundle. Is it something like that, or is it just a whole bunch of products all on there related to that?
Yeah, well, absolutely. So there's 3 different ways, let's say you can buy. You can buy a single unit. So, you're a backpacker in Colorado and you want to buy a solar charging unit. You can go on there and you can do it. Even though we're B2B, I say we're H to H, human to human. We're not a closed platform, so we're open to the public as well. So you can go in and you can buy a single unit. If you're going with your church group to Guatemala and you want to stuff your suitcases full of solar lights, you can buy packs or boxes of solar lights as well, so you get a bundled group at a discount. And if you're an international aid organization and you want to send a container level of tents to the refugee camps in Jordan, you can buy those containers also through our site, pay for them, and get them going on their way.
That's really, really cool. And now it makes me think, what are you doing to really go deeper on causes? And I want to think about I don't know, maybe this is just a creative, strategic alliance that you could think about, or maybe you already have it in place. But what about like a GoFundMe type campaign or something where here comes this aid group or church group and they go, we need money to take these things in, so maybe there's some opportunity that way?
Yeah, you bet. And Mike, that's a really, really great question. If you remember the Haiti earthquake, a lot of responding organizations got slammed for spending a lot of money and not being able to tell people how they spent it, or raising a lot of money and not really knowing how they're going to spend it. And one thing that we decided could really be of service is this idea of a shopping list. So let's take the International Red Cross. There is a situation that they want to respond to. Well, maybe perhaps instead of Mike writing a check to the Red Cross and sending it in, you could actually come to the level market and purchase the supplies that the Red Cross needs. And therefore, you know where your money's going. You know what you're purchasing. And the Red Cross has a full record of that on our site through the back end and invoices and everything, so they are compliant. And it helps them with their audits, and it helps you feel good, like, wow, I just bought a case of solar-powered phone chargers. Wow, I did that for the Red Cross, instead of just writing a blank check. So that's one of the features that we have heard over and over again over the past few months that would be really of benefit to the organizations, but also for the general public. And we are in development, and we hope to be releasing that within the next 30 to 45 days.
That's really cool. So what are some of the most popular products that people are buying from your site?
Yeah, so people finally are understanding that individual solar units are sort of the game changer. They leveled the playing field for everybody around the world. And so we have seen great demand for solar lights. So like I said, for a backpack going off into the wild of Wyoming to women's empowerment program in Kenya, solar lights are something that everybody can use, and the prices are coming down, and the quality is going up. So those are pretty hot. Cook stoves, individual cook stoves, are really, really popular. And then I'm pleased to say that just the other day we got a quote for 14,500 tarps to go to Beirut to help refugees. So people are starting to hear about us and starting to realize that, we're a new, let's say, Amazon for aid, that we intend to make that buying process so much easier and so much faster, that very first part of that supply chain. And it's really cool. And so, we're helping innovative products get to market, and also those things like the tarps get to market. So it's really kind of fun to see what's popular, and that's what you see on our homepage when you get there, sort of what's trending and what's popular. And then eventually you'll be able to see during certain crises like the Louisiana floods or other things, what products are appropriate for which situation as well.
Yeah, that's really neat. So what do you see, 2, 3, 4 years in the future of your platform proceeding, doing well? What's the next step? Where would you love to wave a magic wand and see your platform being able to go to?
Oh, gosh. I dream about this, every night, right? Because I hold that vision, and really that vision is to be that go-to place when an individual, a group, company, a nonprofit says, we want to respond and we want to help. How do we do that, and how do we find those products? And we want to be the platform that is absolutely top of mind and the go-to platform for any disaster, any crisis, and any poverty alleviation program. I call it the level market for a very specific reason, which is, let's level that playing field and make sure that everybody can participate in this huge industry that's called international aid and development, not just a few, right? Not just a few manufacturers or a few large aid organizations, but everybody can participate in this and everybody can help. I just always thought it was, very curious that there is a marketplace for everything you can think of, right? I mean, my kids' cats' toys and, all of the implements that we use in gardens and everything that you can imagine, but not for those things that help people thrive and survive. And that's what 80% of the world needs, and there was no marketplace for that. So my dream is that in 2 to 4 years, we will be top of mind. We will be that marketplace.
So think about it like this: before you knew what Amazon was, what was Amazon.com? Before we knew what a Google was, what was a Google? So, it just means that you got to start somewhere and start building that brand and start growing so that you are the de facto solution to, aid or whatever your business is. So, I love that vision, because you are what you are right now, and then you want your platform to be so ingrained in people's mind that that's like, ooh, aid, package, trip, relief, boom, we go here, and there we have it. So I love your story, I love your mission, and I want to have you tell us what's the best way that people can learn more and get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. They can contact me directly. It's Stephanie Cox at thelevelmarket.com. I like to be out there and talking to people, and I do respond to all the emails, and that's probably the best way. And then they can also go check us out online. Very easy to remember. It's thelevelmarket.com. And we are live, and I would encourage everybody to go ahead and check us out and buy a solar light and try it out.
That is so awesome. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful getting to know you and your organization.
Thank you so much, Mike. It was a pleasure, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.